Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we're checking out a brand new Spyderco knife. And I say brand new because it's just about to drop here a day from now. So by the time you're watching this video, likely it's going to be dropping tomorrow, September 12th. So just get ready. I'll have this knife and every other knife linked down below. It is an exclusive. It is an M4 steel. So yeah, this one's coming from the Blade HQ family. So shout out to the Blade HQ crew. Shout out to Laurel for hooking your boy up here with this review sample. And we're just gonna go ahead and get into it here. We got the very interesting yellow tag here. I'm not sure if that's for exclusive ones or not. Typically used to a white tag there. And we're looking at the Dodo, right? So what's up with the Dodo? Let's see what that is all about. I'm excited because this one is something special, a little bit of a special sauce here. So we got the knife right there. Boom. We got a Spyderco sticker, right? We got a Spyderco paperwork, dear customer, right? All that good stuff. Congratulations on your purchase. Check that out. Tells you a little bit more about the knife. If you guys want to geek out and read through the whole letter there, you absolutely can. Just pause the video. There you go. But yeah, we're working with something special here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and take a look and see what this guy is all about, shall we? All right, here we go, guys. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's see what the Dodo is all about. We got a silica gel here, and here is the knife. Let's get a 2x zoom in here, right? First thing you notice, this one's rocking the Blade HQ Natural G10, right? Handles, right? Very grippy, as you would expect, very durable. We have a wire clip, which is reversible. It's going to be, of course, tip-up carry only. We got about that much, right? It's going to be about that deep carry into the pocket, so that's not bad. And, of course, the star of the show here, guys, is the exposed ball bearing lock. This is pretty unique, very interesting. I'm excited to see how this works. I believe the only other application of the ball bearing lock is the Manix 2, but this one actually has like a cartridge with additional grip, right, given how thick the handles are and stuff like that. So that is something I'm used to, but this is something a little different. We'll bring the Manix 2 later on for some size comparisons. But of course, you got the very iconic Spidey hole here for deployment. I'm going to go that route first because I don't. Do I want to go this route? Well, let's just go the classic route here with a reverse flick, Spidey flick. Bam, there it is. Check that out, guys. So we have a very interesting geometry going on this one, right? So it could be a hawksbill, but very interesting. They call it straight from Spyderco. They call it the reverse S blade geometry. It's a little bit difficult to see on this one because it has the serrations, but on a plain edge, you will see that the edge kind of goes this way and a little bit of belly here and back this way. Basically, literally just like the letter S, but backwards. Of course, we got serrations on this one with a little bit of plain edge here at the tip. That's interesting. Rocking a hollow ground as well. You know your boy loves a good old hollow ground any day of the week. Might get a closer look, of course. Made in good old US of A, designed by your boy Eric Glesser. I mean, of course, he designed the Manix 2 as well. You can see his signature here on both knives. Right, take a look there. So very interesting here, of course, for EDC. That tip is going to come handy. You can do draw cuts, utility cuts all day, every day with that tip like that. And the other interesting thing, too, is going to be, of course, the ergos right there. They were definitely, you know, bragging about the ergos on this one, on the paperwork I was reading there a second ago. And honestly, I got to tell you, I mean, the blade to handle ratio here, it's a little bit of, you know, something else, but I mean, to be honest, for such a tiny blade, right, being able to get a good grip on it and really get it to work right there, right, you are absolutely 1000% locked in. There's no doubt about it. This finger choil here makes a huge difference. Middle and ring finger go in the second curvature here, and the pinky is way back here. So there you go. No lanyard solution on this one, by the way. I guess you could tie a lanyard to this tube back there if you wanted to, but yeah, man, this is definitely feeling pretty good. Check out this curvature right there. I can put my thumb on it. That also feels really nice there as well. I can do this grip there or this grip here, a little something like that. Oh, that feels so good. I gotta tell you, this curvature on the handle right there, that feels nice. Get some work done that way. The wire clip almost disappears. I want to tell you, I'm gonna give it a good 9.5 out of 10, right? You can barely feel that thing at all. So that feels good. Now, I'm mostly intrigued about, you know, this ball bearing lock because, you know, it's actually exposed. When they tell you it's a ball bearing lock, you got a ball bearing ball, right, with a coil spring. We should definitely get a 5x zoom here so you guys can see a little bit closer. And there is no additional, you know, grip cartridge on this one like on the Manix 2. So I'm assuming, I'm just going to pull back here. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so all right, let's try that. I'm going to do the slow open. All right, you guys can see it in action here. This is what's holding it in place. There's a little bit of a click there. that's holding it there in the closed position, and then it slides all the way until it wedges right there in the full open position. Check it out in action. Bam, right, kind of like boxing gloves in a way. And sort of works similar to a crossbar lock if you think about it, right? The sort of principle, right? It's the same thing that you would see on, say something like the ram lock, which is, kind of a variant of a crossbar lock. So it's the same sort of deal, but obviously using a different whole geometrical, whole different shape, a ball in this case, similar to a crossbar lock as well, right? But instead of using a bar, right, you're using an actual ball in this case. So I mean, I think that about explains that right there as good as I can. Now I wonder if there's some breaking in here, because I feel like just getting a grip of the ball there might take a little bit of getting used to. Now the ball is really well recessed in there, and I can see where the little ramps here, the little cartridge, right, little grips on the Manix 2 come clutch, right? They actually come out of the handle quite a bit, right? Gives you something to pull back on. And with this one, the ball is actually recessed in there quite well, so much so that there's a cutout on the around the G10 for better access. So maybe it's just a matter of getting used to it. So that's something there. There's this whole cartridge. You might think, it's a backspacer, but this whole thing is a whole cartridge, I'm sure, for the ball bearing lock, because it's not full liners, right? There's no liners on this back portion over here. So let me see. Let me just give it a few, right? Let's see here. Kind of getting the hang of it, right? Let's see. You definitely want to. It's a little bit slippery. All right, there we go. Close. Okay, so I think I might, for the opening, I might stick to something like a traditional thumb deployment, like reverse flick in this case. And as far as thumb deployment goes, a little bit of a slow roll works pretty good. And then there we go. It's a matter of just breaking in, right? Getting a feel for it, right, on that ball bearing there. Definitely something interesting, right? Something unique, something you don't see every day. I also love the acoustics on it. I'm not gonna lie. Sounds so good on the open, right? On the close. There we go. Now, my takeaway here, and again, this is just raw first impressions, I think I do see a little bit of value here on the actual ball bearing, right? Like you have on the cartridge here, or ramp if you would, like you get on the Spyderco Manix 2. This one, again, is just kind of in there. It's a little bit, a little bit challenging to get at. That's about the only thing there. You also have some numbers here, a little bit hidden away. Check this out. You got some numbers there, 7/25, aka probably July of 2025, and then A. And the other thing too, we almost forgot to talk about it, guys. I'm just got carried away by the lock so bad. Almost forgot to talk about the M4 steel. So with M4 steel, you're actually getting quite a bit, but for starters, this one has a DLC coating, so that's going to help with corrosion resistance, since M4 is not necessarily the most corrosion resistant steel out there. However, you do get a lot of different other great aspects for a knife blade. According to what I'm reading here, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm a metal guru, but you have a high composition or high content of vanadium. It is an advanced alloy composition, and it has an extremely fine grain structure, giving it exceptional wear resistance, toughness, and properties that translate into an outstanding edge retention and impact resistance on knife blades such as this one. So that right there is actually pretty neat, right? As a not only an exclusive knife, I know the M4 has been pretty popular with exclusives from Blade HQ on other models, but also just as an actual steel in general. Absolutely digging that. And the serrations, right? Now this one comes in both, non-serrated and non-serrated. This particular one being the exclusive here has the serrated edge. Serrations come handy, right, when you're cutting more thicker material like rope, like a rag, piece of cloth, right? Something like that as compared to a plain edge. So plain edge is going to do a little bit more fine cutting, things like paper, cardboard, stuff like that. But we'll do our scientific test, of course, here in a moment. The other thing too is this thing was released back in 2003. So it's been a minute since 2003, at least 22 years, which is insane. And you don't necessarily see this one quite a lot. So this might be a great opportunity to really check this one out if you've been kind of eyeing it for a while. Because I don't necessarily see a lot of dodos out there. I always see pictures on Instagram, people who already own them, and I always think they're pretty cool. So Spyderco, once again, putting form over function. So I gotta tell you, man, like in the beauty department, I don't think this one is necessarily beating I don't think this one's necessarily winning a beauty contest anytime soon, but in the functional department, ergos, multiple grip options, the strength of the lock there with the ball bearing lock, that thing is not going anywhere, of course. So that's a very strong locking system. Good geometry there for EDC and everything. So got a lot going for it for sure. Let's do some quick measurements here, and then we'll do our size comparisons as well. Well, we got an overall measurement coming in at just a little bit over 6 inches. Paperwork here says 6.125 inches. The blade length is going to be around 2 inches with a cutting path of 1.75. So this could very well work for you if you live somewhere where you have strict knife laws and things like that. Handle's going to be over 4 1/4, so like 4.3, 4.35, which is good. So not necessarily the biggest knife out there, but again, somehow finds a good way of fitting the hand so well with the whole finger choil handle combination. Now we got blade stock thickness here coming in at 0.12. That's the average in the channel. We got a thickness here of 0.40 in the handle. That's a little bit thinner than the average 0.5 or half an inch in the channel. And on the weight department, let's see. Let's take a look. I want to say we got G10. We don't have full liners on this one, so that is definitely something, right, to consider right there. I would say somewhere around 3 ounces. 2.5 to 3 ounces will be my guess. All right, look at that. Right on the money, 2.8 ounces to be exact. 80 grams, right, which is not bad. So paperwork says 2.8 ounces or 79 grams. So that's good for EDC, not too heavy, right? Not too light, under 3 ounces. Definitely not going to weigh you down a ton there for sure. Now we do have washers on this guy. Take a closer look there. And that's why, you'll see the blade stops kind of, in a specific position. It doesn't necessarily move as smooth as ball bearings do, but it definitely has its pros, right? Because you'll get less lint and kind of pocket gunk in there, messing up with the ball bearings if it was a ball bearing pivot instead. So now that being said, I got just a thing here for this one. I want to kind of do a whole Spyderco, right, family here. We got the PM2, we got the Para 3. Right, so you can take a look. This is some of the most popular knives from Spyderco of all times. So check those out. Those are going to be a little bit larger there, obviously, as you can see. Of course, we already talked about the other ball bearing model here, the Manix 2. Also, there's a Manix 2 XL as well. So that's something else to consider. Here is the Yojimbo 2. Right, these are some of my favorite Spydies from my collection. Absolutely love these. Right, they got obviously a bigger size. And I'll have them all linked down below, so if you guys are interested in checking prices, availability, and variants, and definitely check them out. Next, we got the Spyderco Smock. Take a look there, right? And then we have another one here. This one is another exclusive, but from GP Knives instead. This is the Urban, and this one has Rex 45 premium steel. So this one has M4, this one has Rex 45. So another thing you should know about Spyderco, they do all kinds of different runs and exclusive with different dealers. Obviously, they have really good quality check, right? Great quality control, and they also work, they have many different variants for a lot of their models. So chances are, if you're looking for specific steel, right, Spyderco is one of those brands that has a lot of pretty much almost every steel under the rainbow there. So Microtech MSI and Microtech Stitch, take a look at those. Obviously, those are going to be much larger knives. And last but not least, there's the Demco 80-20.5 and the Kumbu Chat. I also have content for all these knives. If you guys want to learn more, definitely check those videos here on the channel. Just put the knife name Miguel EDC on the YouTube search box and you'll find those videos right away. All right, so reverse S or Hawksbill geometry here. This is going to be interesting. We'll see how this guy does here in our scientific cutting test. Now, I'm not going to do the nail test here because serrations, but let's go 5x zoom here. All right, got my finger forward choke position. Kind of feels weird not to forward choke. Let me just say that. Right? It feels weird not to actually grip this knife. Like a hammer grip back here, which is be so unnatural. So you always by default want to use that finger choil, right? Like that. So that's what feels the most natural there. So 5x zoom, M4 steel. There we go. So the answer is yeah, absolutely. This thing annihilates. It cuts really good. Let's do a few more here, biting into the paper right away. Again, and you would think, with serrations, it's a little bit more difficult, but let's do some full slices. There we go. So I think what happens is the paper is going to get cut into one of the in-betweens of the different teeth of the serration. So it's going to carry the cut all the way, just like that. A little bit of tear on that one. There we go. Again, I don't have the biggest geometry or cutting length in the world. But yeah, needless to say, it's going to cut that paper. No issues. Also, another thing with Spyderco knives, there's some of the sharpest knives I've ever tested here in the channel. The factory edge is insane. Now, got some cardboard, right? Cutting at a diagonal angle for better performance. Single wall, you know, decent thickness to it. It's going to look something like this. Oh man, come on. Wow, okay. Right, it's the it's the Dodo, the new meta for trash day. I don't know. So far, I mean, come on. I am definitely impressed. I gotta tell you, makes me want to come out here and do a few more. Look at that. I'm gonna turn it around. You can also get this angle. I gotta tell you, that feels so comfortable on hand. It's insane. Listen, serrations or no serrations, this thing is epic sharp, and yeah, definitely get the work done, no doubt about it. So if you were on the fence about the serrations or not, I gotta tell you, man, it performs either way, and those teeth are no joke. Now, obviously, if you were cutting rope, you were cutting, you know, thicker rope or what have you, the serrations are gonna come nice, gonna give you somewhat of a saw, right? Little functionality to it, if anything. If you were cutting something like, say, some paracord, all right, that's going to be a no-brainer right there. Check that out. Single paracord is good. Let's try doing a double one. That's a little bit of a bonus right here. Double paracord. Look at that. No struggles there whatsoever. Let's do, how many are here? 4. All right, here we go. Let's do a final one here with 4 strings of paracord at once, if I can make it happen. There you go. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I pull this off? Can it do it? Oh, the answer is yes, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely can do that. And obviously you can work with bigger rope. This is just what I got handy right now, so absolutely gets the job done there. Guys, rate this thing in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10. How sharp is that factory edge? You all let me know. All right, guys, well, there you have it. That is the new Dodo exclusive from Blade HQ, dropping here September 12th at 10 a.m. I have the link for this guy in the description. I'll also make a community post about it so you guys don't miss out on this guy. It is looking absolutely epic. I know with most washer knives, and you guys can probably echo this in the comments, you know, they're not necessarily as smooth right off the bat as, say, a ball bearing knife, right? So obviously a ball bearing knife is going to be very smooth there, like this Kumbu chat on the open and close. You know, they do kind of break in over time. So that's the one thing I found. My Manix 2 obviously was kind of like that at the beginning, and nowadays, I mean, it's just so smooth on the open and close. It's insane. You know, that washer really wears in really nicely, gives you some good action over time. So in a way, you kind of develop that action over time yourself as you use it more, as you open and close, deploy, fidget with it and whatnot. So let's do a little bit of a family photo here. So we got the Dodo there. We got the, of course, we got to put the Manix 2 next to it because they're both Eric Glesser designs. We got the Yojimbo 2 also right there in the family photo. We got the Smock there as well. Of course, we got to do the pair of 3. Here's the PM2, and here's that Urban right there, right, from GP Knives, also an exclusive, guys. Let me know which of these is your favorite Spidey of all time. Also, maybe you probably own one yourself that I haven't necessarily done content on here in the channel, so definitely let me know. Let me know your thoughts on the Dodo, right, this exclusive here in the video. What do you guys like about it? What do you love about it? Is there anything you dislike about it? Let me know. Let's hang out in the comment sections down below. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Either this one or this one. Peace.